Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Daily Drop-In. This is the daily morning show where we hang out with amazing educators and to inspire you, to educate you, to inform you, and attempt to try to make you just a little bit better today. Today is Wednesday, and I am so glad that you're joining us, whether you are on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, or any of the platforms where you happen to find us, whether you're watching us live or on the replay. Good morning. If you're not awake yet, it is time to wake up. You got lives to change. So hang on tight. In about 30 seconds, we're going to be back. We're going to have an amazing conversation with my guest, John, today. We're just going to talk shop a little bit. We're going to talk about life a little bit and have a little bit of fun. So good morning. We'll see you on the other side. Good morning and welcome back to Daily Drop-In, the daily morning show where we get to talk to amazing educators and start your day the right way. Super excited to be here. Again, I am not Ray Hewitt. I am not Jeff Gargis. I am not Brad Hughes. Today, you're stuck with Dave Schmittou. But we have an incredible guest who's going to bring us up to par today. We got somebody that's going to raise the level of the conversation and actually sound somewhat intelligent. I'm struggling through already my second cup of coffee. I'll probably have my third or fourth before we're done today. If you are just waking up and the struggle is real for you, you got some sympathy and some major empathy coming from me. So, John, thank you so much for being up bright and early to hang out with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. What is it like right now up in Plano, Illinois? Is there still snow on the ground?
Not snow on the ground right now, but it is a chilly, brisk morning up here. So
I do not miss those surprise wake up cold mornings in the Midwest.
Yeah, still expecting another frost or two before we hit Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is when the flowers can.
That's right. That's when we can start planning. Yep.
Awesome.
You got it.
Hey, John, thank you again for waking up bright and early. I know we talked about this briefly. You're already in work. You decide I'm going to get to work bright and early today, so I don't have to mess with the commute, and I can just be here.
Let me just beat it all and get in nice and early. It's a fun, I don't know. I enjoy it. Maybe you do, getting into the building when no one else is there and having it just kind of quiet and peaceful to yourself before the day really gets going.
This is going to sound so bad for me to say, but sometimes the best time to be in school is when there's nobody there. I mean, it's the reality though, right?
I enjoy the peacefulness that comes with just being in the building.
Awesome. Hey, John, in just a second, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself to those people who aren't lucky enough like me to actually know who you are and what you do and where you are, while other people that are starting to trickle in, drop in and let us know who they are and where they're from as well. So in the comments, people, welcome John with us. Let us know who you are so that we can say hi to you. And John, let people know what you do up there in Plano, Illinois.
Yeah, so as you said, I'm here in Plano, Illinois, and I am a 7th and 8th grade computer science teacher. So I get the privilege of working with close to 300 students as I'm an enrichment elective teacher. They kind of, not all, but almost all get to come through my classroom. And we like to explore all things technology and computer science up here. I connected with the Teach Better team about 3 years ago when I went to a grid method training. And since then, I have been all in grid method teacher. So I run all of my computer science classes full on self-paced grid method style. And that's kind of what brings us here today, right? Is that I've had the opportunity to work with you and with Ray and with Chad and really get to know a lot about the Teach Better team and what you're all about. And it's really working well for me in my classroom. So I'm excited to share anything that I can bring to the table.
And when you say you're all in, I mean, you're all in. You're like developing apps and coding and all kinds of stuff to manage the grid method, which I want to dive into to help blow people's minds a little bit. But I also want to set the record straight. When we say that you are from Plano, Illinois, we're not being derogative towards Illinois, saying you're just from plain old Illinois.
No,
we are not saying plain old Illinois. You actually are working in the city of Plano,
Plano, you
comma,
got it.
Illinois.
Plano, Illinois, you
And
got it.
and I've had the opportunity to be there 5, 6 times. I'm actually coming back up
Yeah.
in 2 weeks. I don't know if you knew that. May
Okay. I
16th, I'll
did
be
not
back.
know that. Look at that.
And,
We'll cross
and
paths.
the hotel that I stay at is right on the border of Sandwich
Yeah.
and Plano. And people jokingly told me last time I was there, I'm staying at the Peanut Butter and Jelly Hotel. And I said, what are you talking about? Like, it's just the Plano Sandwich Hotel. I was like, that makes sense
There it
now.
is.
The
There it
Plano
is.
Sandwich. That's awesome.
I like it.
So in Plano, Illinois, amazing rural community. Farm fields surround you, but yet there's a Starbucks. You got to drive a little bit, but you
Yeah.
can find a
No,
Starbucks.
we're just on the outer edges of the Chicagoland suburb limits. So we've got all the city livings that you want, but we're a nice quiet town out here.
Yeah, and with that, you've got kids that range the gamut of supports. You've got kids that range the gamut of IQ and EQ and
Yeah, a
all
wide range of diversity out in our building. So we see them of all kinds for sure.
yeah, absolutely. And so you're at the middle level, the middle school level,
Yes, the middle
and
school level.
you say you have been you bought into the grid method,
I
and
did. I was all in from I ran it for a single unit, and I was like, wow, this works for me. And so that very next year after the training, I dove in and I started, building everything into the grid. And here I am, 3 years later, and I'm from day one of the school year through the end of the year, I'm a fully self-paced grid method classroom.
how can that be with middle schoolers? Because middle schoolers oftentimes don't know how to get to class on time, and yet they're completing all of their tasks, assignments, they're learning, doing everything.
Well,
As
that's the nice thing, right? You know this about the grid method is that it supports them where they're at when they need to be there. And so when they're working at their own self pace, it's not like they have, deadlines that everyone must be through this point, especially in an exploratory class like mine. I don't I'm fortunate enough not to have to say, hey, everyone must get to this end line by this certain date. It's just we're going to explore and we're going to learn as much as we can, and the grid method really opened that door for me to be able to do that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time just
No,
diving into the grid method, but I want to talk about you and your experience
sure.
with the grid method, because there are some people when they get training, whether it's grid method or grading or assessment or DOK, whatever the initiative is in their classroom, they get the
Mhm.
training, they nod their head, they take some notes, and maybe they start taking bits and pieces of it and they incorporate it into their existing classroom, their existing paradigm, and they say, I'm going to just take a few things and enhance things. When we say that you dove in and you went
Mhm.
all in, it got to the place where you are now designing programs to help you run the grid method. So the grid method, if somebody doesn't understand what the grid method is, it's this way to help kids go through a mastery framework. So they're working towards competency. You've got the standards. You're trying to get the kids to reach the proficiency level of the standard. They're self-paced, so they're
Mhm.
quote unquote climbing the ladder. They're learning the requisite skills to get there, doing a bunch of tasks and learning and activities. And it can be a challenge for some people when they're starting off to manage it, to try to figure out where every single kid is in their progression towards mastery. And
Correct.
you said, I got a solution for this. Being a
Yeah.
computer
So
science teacher, you jumped in.
yeah, and what it was is I really liked the idea that a lot of teachers that you implement the grid method will use a Google Sheet to track and monitor progress, but I found myself running into little problems that were going to need solutions, like all the kids being able to see where everyone was at. I teach, close to 300 students, so it was a large group to try and progress monitor on a regular basis. Um, and then I also didn't like that um, students could change other people's locations on the grid. And so I found myself spending more time monitoring how I was tracking it, and as opposed to monitoring where the students were at with their mastery. And so I said, I need a way that makes the interface easier for my students to just check off and communicate with me what they've done. And so there's an awesome tool called Glide app that is just a website, and it takes your Google Sheet and it'll turn it into an app, and then with a little uh, formula work and programming knowledge, you can turn this into a full-on. My kids have a virtual phone app that they use and progress monitor themselves with while they're working through the grid method. So when I say all in, like I'm building this app and implementing it in the classroom, and that's just a part of what we do. That has nothing to really do with the actual content and curriculum that we're learning, right? It is a way for me to monitor how they're doing, where they're at, what they're learning, and kind of provide feedback. And then on top of it all, I was like, you know what? I haven't done enough. Let's gamify it and let's put a storyline on top of all of our learning, and let's brand it and make it look really cool and interactive for the kids. So yeah, I've been busy the last year or two kind of building a lot of this. So it is a lot of upfront work, but man, it's really paid off this year. The kids are really getting into it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm just going to tell people, if this is intriguing to you and you're like, ooh, I want someone to help me, you can see his contact information right there at
Yeah, I
Plano
put it on the
Comp Sci.
screen.
I'm sure you're willing to make a few bucks a summer designing some
Yeah,
stuff.
you know what? I've started developing some tutorials to help people along, because I have had positive feedback from other educators that, are like, that's an interesting, that solves some of the problems maybe I've run into. So we are working on developing some ways to better share that out for sure. But anyone that wants to connect with me through, I live on Twitter, so just reach out to me, and I'll be happy to share whatever it is I can provide as a resource.
So cool. So cool. Tell you what, let's connect with a few other people that are joining us today. First, I want to say hey to my buddy Katie Miglin. And Katie, first of all, go back to bed. Go back to bed, Katie. Right now, Katie typically lives in Illinois, but she's hanging out in the deserts of California right now, representing the team at a conference in Palm Springs. And she's struggling through. I saw some pictures yesterday, and
Yeah, gotta be rough.
80 degrees, poolside, this amazing, amazing location. So, Katie, I don't know what you're doing up right now. It's like 4 a.m. there. So, knowing Katie, she's probably going for like a long run or something. But good morning, Katie. Thanks for joining us. And Brad Hughes, the amazing Brad Hughes, one of the hosts of the Friday show, is here and says he's followed you. So you got to follow her right there, John. That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Brad. I appreciate it. Good morning to you too.
Oh, you know what, Katie? I know why you're probably up, because I'm guessing you're there with Ray Hewitt, and she's probably talking in her sleep and snoring and drooling and all those things. And you're like, I just need to get out, and you'd rather listen to my voice early in the morning than that nonsense. So I get it, Katie. I completely understand. So John, we were just talking about your exposure to the grid method and app development and all that kind of stuff. Let's shift a little bit
Okay.
away from the professional piece. On the personal side, who are you?
So, it's funny. I listened to the show yesterday, Dave, and I learned that you and I actually share a little bit more in common than we knew about. As
You're
I
bald?
too,
Is that a wig?
no, I'm not
Oh,
not up
oh,
top here, but
oh.
I too am a full on dance dad, and my daughters are full into the competitive dance scene. So, my when I'm not here in class and working with my students, like I'm full on into technology and all that stuff in my personal time. But I have 3 children, 2 daughters of which are into competitive dance. So a lot of my weekends are spent traveling from competition to competition, or dropping off at rehearsals, and going through that whole circuit. I'm sure you are aware of
Have you
all that
had to
that
do the
entails.
low? Have you had to do the low bun and the side part yet?
Low bun, side part, braided into the bun, like it.
Oh,
I'm fortunate that I have a wife that is a phenomenal dance mom and helps support those 2 kids. So I'm fortunate enough to just be the guy that runs it, and then I'm a prop dad and behind the scenes. So I'm helping build the sets and get them set up. So
that's awesome.
I'm full on with my family when I'm not here at work.
That is awesome. So if there's anybody out there who's looking for an experience to humble yourself, if you've ever been accused of being a little bit conceited, a little arrogant, a little full of yourself, like you know all the things, just go experience that world for a little bit, and every other mom in the room will knock you back down to size. You quickly realize your place in this world and how flawed you really are as a human being, because
It can be
their eyes
intense,
will tell
that
you.
is for sure. Yeah, it can really be intense, but my daughters love it, and so, to see that smile on their face when they're up on stage is worth all the headaches that sometimes we go through.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, how old are your kids?
I've got an 11-year-old and a 12-year-old, and then I've got a little guy that's 5. So he
Oh,
keeps me busy when we're not bouncing around with dance. So
I love it. I
uh,
love it. And those 11 and 12-year-old girls, precious. Their smiles, their eyes light up. but they're also starting to get a little bit of that sass. Am I right?
Yeah, a little bit of that sass, and especially I don't know about yours, but mine show it when they start to get a little tired, a little hungry, and that attitude starts to peek its head out a little bit. So
Yeah.
but like anything, we are constantly working on raising them into good people. So we'll deal with a little attitude here and there because that's part of it.
Yeah, and that's fair because if I'm being honest with myself, when I get a little tired, when I get a
Uh-huh.
little hungry, it's the same thing. So I
It's
can't
the
just
same,
sit
a
there and
little cranky, right?
yeah, absolutely. Well, at this time of day, a quarter after the hour, a lot of us can feel a little cranky. If we haven't had our second, third, or fourth cup of coffee yet, we can get a little tired. We can get a little discouraged. It's hump day, the middle of the week, and we could look at it very pessimistically and say, "Oh, I still have 2 more mornings to go." Or you could say you already made it through 3. I don't want anybody to experience that today. I want people to be able to experience some good news today, some hope, some optimism. John, are you okay if in just a second we switch it up and we share the good news story of the day and let people realize that there's some good in this world?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's share that.
All right. All right. Welcome back to the Daily Drop In, everybody. Whether you're watching us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, or LinkedIn, super glad that you are here hanging out with Dave and John today on the morning talk show where we just get to hang out, talk shop, talk education, and hopefully get you started on your day the right way. We're going to jump into the good news story of the day. This is a segment that we bring to you just about every single day where we scour the news looking for bits of positivity. We know that we can go on the news and we can get caught up in the vicious news cycle and see lots of horrors that are out in the world, and we can feel discouraged, we can feel down, we can feel hopeless. But if you look hard enough, you can always find some positivity. And I found a story today. It's actually a story that I found late last week. I saw it on Good Morning America, but it popped back up again on my stream today. So I'm hoping that it is still good news today. You'll hopefully understand why I'm saying I'm hoping it's still good news today and that I'm not just reading something that is now tragic. But our good news story of the day comes from my state, Florida. Back on January 9th, we had a new world record broken here in the state of Florida. January 9th, we had a dog turned 21 years old. The dog is now the world's oldest living dog at 21 years old. It's a little Chihuahua named Toby Keith. So Toby Keith is now a world record holder as the oldest living dog in the world. Again, I'm hoping that it's still current because it popped up last week when it officially broke the record. So I'm hoping that little Toby Keith is still with us today. But it gives me hope. It gives me hope. And the dog, if you were to scour the internet and look at pictures of it, it looks happy. It's a little Chihuahua that's still wearing little tutus and doing its thing and eating all the treats that its owners can give. It still knows how to sit and lay down, sleeps a lot, but it's still alive and still loving life. So a guy like me who's been around the block a couple times gives me hope. I can look at this Chihuahua and say, it's still thriving even as it gets older. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, you gotta love that. Dogs will do that for us, won't they?
They will. Are you a dog owner?
I am. I have 3 dogs actually. We got a house full of them, so
Wow.
we're canine friends.
Wow. I'm like, my mind is blown right now by your life. Now I understand. So earlier I was like, I'm so impressed that you are up and early at
Now
work.
you know why I drove in,
Now I
right?
get it. I am sneaking out before all the dogs and all the kids are up and running,
Yeah. Yeah, leave my
all in the
wife with
name of work.
everything. Yeah, in the name of work. That's right. For I told you I need that peaceful, quiet place, right?
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So yeah, I've got 2 dogs. So I've got 4 kids, 2 dogs. So we're both 6 and 6. We
I
got
say
6
we've
other.
got 6, but
Yeah.
yeah, I kept my counts even, but yeah, we've got 2 big guys and a little one, a part Chihuahua mix. So
Okay.
I certainly know the joy that they can bring on a daily basis.
Who's the alpha from that mix?
It's the little Chihuahua one, of
Isn't that
course.
crazy?
Like yeah, the big dogs just know that she's the boss and let her be, and they'll play with her and have fun. But yeah, she's definitely runs the show.
It's funny that because it's the same thing here at my house. I've got a little Maltipoo that weighs like, I don't know, 12, 13 pounds, and then
Hmm.
a golden doodle that is now about 30 pounds, and it's going to be even bigger than that real soon. But the little Maltipoo, he runs the show. I mean, he's a little he could be a little ankle biter. He's sweet, but he runs the show. It reminds me of the Teach Better team's kind of setup. Got Jeff and Chad and myself, but we all know Ray's the boss. Well, actually, now we know Katie's the boss because she's the one up and running the show. But sometimes the ones that look the sweetest and the most innocent are
the
the
most fierce, right?
on the show. That's right.
Yeah, I
That's
like it.
awesome. That's awesome. So that is some good news, people. Know that this little Chihuahua can make it through the last 21 years with a name like Toby Keith, which is an interesting dog name. I mean, I'm not going to go there. It's interesting that 21 years ago they decided to name the dog Toby Keith, which God bless him. Toby Keith is still out there breaking records. So the good news story of the day. Along with that, we also like to celebrate holidays that are taking place today. And don't know if you're aware of this, John, but I'm going to throw one out there that everybody needs to be aware of today, Wednesday, April 27th.
Let's hear it.
Administrative Professionals Day.
Oh, yeah, need to hear that.
Professionals Day. So people, Wednesday, the 27th, right now, if you are on your way to work and you don't have this on your radar, switch over 3 lanes of traffic right now, pull into a gas station if you have to, buy some chocolate, buy some flowers, buy a gas card. I don't care what you do. Today is Administrative Professionals Day. Get that person that's holding down the fort, that person that's running the show, screening the calls, making the magic happen, the person that is Oz behind the curtain and you have no idea what levers they're pulling. Get that person something today, even if it's a hug, a high five, a fist bump, a smile, something to let them know that you support them. I've had the opportunity to meet the admin professionals at Plano Middle School, and they are rocking.
The whole office is fantastic. So I looks like I found out a little bit late. I'm already in at work, but I'm certainly going to have to send a nice email down and let them know how appreciated they are.
There you go. You're at work first, so you can send off any messages you want to and lead the way for that. And
that's right.
That you're in charge. So that's something else you can do, people. If you need to pull over and just send a text, send an email, pull over first. So if you're driving, just do it now, because having the secretary, the admin professional, having to try to find a substitute for you because you did something stupid on the way is not the way that they want to celebrate their day. So pull over and then send that message. So look who's joining us today.
Yeah. Good morning, Mark.
Mark, I want to point out to the fact that John is there before you. He was the first person in the building today, rocking it out, doing his thing. He's already unlocked all the doors, turned on all the lights.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
He's sending the message out today to all the admin professionals that they are appreciated. He's running things today, Mark. So go for a nice long run. John's got it under.
Grab that cup of coffee and
there you go. There you go. And we also have the amazing Chad Ostrowski joining us. One of the big dogs from the Teach Better team. Not
good morning, Chad.
Like we were talking about. We know that that's Katie and Ray, but good morning to you, Chad. So we got Admin Professionals Day. You want to hear some of the other days that are taking place?
Yeah, let's hear them.
So today we also have National Denim Day. I guess today's the day we wear blue jeans. I'm not, but I guess it's still time for me to go change.
I'm fortunate enough to be in a school where that's perfectly fine for your regular teaching attire. So I'm a big denim wearer when I'm at work, especially.
Awesome, good deal. Today is also Babe Ruth Day. I'm not sure if it's his birthday or if it is the day that he got called up, but Babe Ruth Day. Got a big fan of the Babe. National Devil Dog Day. I gotta be honest, I have no idea what. I'm looking at a picture right now. Devil Dog looks like a cool little cake thing with cream.
Like a snack cake, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe the most important holiday taking place today is National Prime Rib Day. So, yeah, National Prime Rib Day. That's a quality holiday there. So we got Admin Professionals Day, aka Secretary's Day. We've got Denim Day. We've got Devil Dog Day, and we've got National Prime Rib Day. So of those, let's take Admin Professional Day out of the equation because that one wins. That's the most important thing that we're celebrating today. Which other thing has you most excited? Are you a Devil Dog fan? Are you a Prime Rib fan? Or Let's just have a reason to celebrate blue jeans today.
Let's just have a reason to celebrate blue jeans because they're an everyday go-to for me. So they sometimes they get overlooked and not thought about, but let's give them their due credit today.
Fair enough. Let's celebrate the denim, people. So if you're looking for a way to celebrate that admin professional, get them some blue jeans. Does that I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
Or
know.
compliment their outfit when you see them later.
There
today.
you go. You could say, hey, you could have wore blue jeans today, but look at how amazing you look. Or you can go out and start smoking some prime rib and celebrate that with them today too.
There you go.
Yeah, take it to a whole nother level.
A whole nother level, yeah.
Love it. Awesome. So in your classroom, it's a Wednesday. It's a hump day. Do you have any traditions or anything that you do different days of the week, or is every day kind of the same thing?
No, every day is similar in the fact because I have a rotating schedule, so I don't see the same kids every Wednesday. But we have an advisory period where I'll see them every Wednesday. So we'll share some of those national days, and we've got a school-wide countdown going on for the last 26 days of school. So nothing terribly exciting today, but I'll be excited to see them when they all come walking in with smiles on their faces.
Awesome. 26 days to go. Oh, you can see the light, which is an amazing segue because in just a second, we're going to launch into Brainstorm Bank, which is the opportunity for us to respond to questions that people might send in. So if people are watching, they still have time. They can send us a question in the chat, or I can just ask you questions that were sent in last week. And I've got a question I want to ask you about the time left in the school year and how to stay motivated and in sync for it. So are you cool? Let's jump into that in 9 seconds and have a conversation in our Brainstorm Bank.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, on the Daily Drop-In. Teach Better daily morning show where we get to hang out with amazing educators on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, all the places, whether you're live or in the replays. Lots of amazing segments where we talk shop, we talk life, we talk holidays, we talk old chihuahuas, and we get an opportunity to answer your specific questions. In the Brainstorm Bank segment, which is what we're in right now, you have the opportunity to send in your questions if you have any for either me or for John, just to kind of talk through. And yesterday we had some amazing conversations about interviewing and how to actually get the job and how to maintain a growth mindset at this time of year and how to stay supportive and yet encouraging. And I have a question for you that was sent in last week that I'm hoping you can address. As somebody with 3 kids, 3 dogs, doing all the things, hanging out in a middle school, this time of year in a middle school is intense. It's intense.
It can be, yes.
Especially when you get those 70-degree days that roll in and spring fever starts to kick in.
Uh-huh.
Question for you, John, is really it's simple yet complex. How do you stay motivated to get up every single day at this time of year?
So for me, I learned something when I was probably 3-4 years into teaching. A veteran teacher told me that you've really got to keep your eye focused each day on the small little victories that you have, whether it's reaching that one student, having that one student do well on an assessment, whether it's just you had a class period where everyone was on task and you felt really good about it. But finding those small victories and then kind of reflecting and celebrating those each day, because it makes you want to come back for more. One way that I do that is I keep a small little file just in the corner of my desk in the drawer. I call it my smile file, right? And anytime you get those appreciative notes at the end of the year, or students give you something to say thank you or to show that you're appreciated, I like to pull those out on those mornings when you're like, oh, I just don't have it in me today, to say, no, what you're doing here is important work and you're going to reach one of those kids today, and I'm going to celebrate it when I do. And it makes me want to come back that next day, so that, like, you're not going to win every second of every day, but if you can win a lot of those seconds, then it gives you some motivation to want to keep trying those other times when things feel like they might be a little tough, or you might feel like you just don't have that energy, because it does when you're in a middle school, especially. Like, it can take a lot of energy to reach that many students and keep them all, focused down the same path of mastery and progress. So that's one little way that I like to try and do it.
That's good. You reminded me of my old high school basketball coach. He used to say, don't worry about winning the game, win the next play. win the next play. If you win
Yeah.
enough plays, you'll win the game. So just focus on the next play. So
Yeah. I love that.
that's good stuff. So in my career, I've had the opportunity to wear a lot of hats and play a lot of roles, from classroom teacher to assistant superintendent, a couple of building leadership stints in the middle of that as well. And probably my favorite thing that I've ever done was when I was a principal of a school, where at this time of year, everybody was just dragging. And this was pre-pandemic. This was 6-7 years ago. In the spring, it was just brutal. So we implemented something called Challenge Wednesdays. It was intentional that we did this on Wednesdays, and I can explain that in just a minute. But every Wednesday for the last 20 weeks of school, so literally the second half of the year, we implemented a challenge. And the challenges were as simple as, I want you to try this Wednesday to teach with no paper. This Wednesday, I want you to try to teach with your lights off. This Wednesday, I want you to try to teach without utilizing anything that has to get plugged in. This Wednesday, I want you to try to teach only using your green expo marker, just like random little challenges. I want you to teach outside. I want you to switch classrooms with somebody. I want you to switch subject areas with somebody. So we did all of these random challenges on Wednesdays, and they were voluntary. And at the beginning, there was a little lack of enthusiasm. People were like, "What are you doing, Dave?" But by week 5, 6, it became universal, and the entire school was doing it because it was a cool activity that I did to try to stretch teachers. I wanted teachers to get out of their comfort zones and realize how much they truly do have control over, because sometimes we feel like, I don't control anything. The curriculum is chosen for me. The resources are chosen for me. The standards are chosen for me. My class list is chosen for me. But I wanted teachers to remember that they are in control of a lot of things that happen in their classroom. And I wanted them to realize that their creativity could be stretched if they allowed themselves to. And they could learn from each other. They can learn from new experiences. And their teaching could be transformed. What I found happening Mondays and Tuesdays in the hallways every week, teachers were having conversations about what they were going to be trying to do to challenge things. Wednesdays, they were out there epically failing or epically succeeding. And Thursday and Friday, they were talking, laughing, and sharing all of their ideas on what happened and what worked. So it allowed us to get through an entire week all by one challenge on a Wednesday. So
I like that too, because I think a lot of times, especially come this time of year, kind of, you had mentioned it before, like that monotony of doing the same thing over and over can really start to wear on people. But I like that idea because it challenges them to break up that monotony and do different things that they weren't doing in October, September,
yeah,
November.
absolutely.
I like that.
And I think it's something that, as an educator, you can wait for your leader to do something like that if you want to, or you could just do it yourself. Challenge yourself. In my own personal life, I know I talk a lot about running, but every week I throw a different fitness challenge at myself one day a week, whether it's a cross training activity that I'm going to do, something I'm going to do with my nutrition, where I'm going to double my protein versus fat content on one day, or I'm going to go one day without something. Maybe I'll try one day without coffee, just to try to challenge myself and encourage myself or push myself in a slightly novel way. I don't need a personal trainer to tell me those things. I can just create those things myself. So I would challenge people, go out and look at your calendars right now. If you got 3, 4, 5 weeks left, choose a day each week and say, this day I'm going to try something different and new, and script it, and then build your lessons and activities around your challenge. Don't wait and say, I can just force this in because I'm already doing a lesson where I don't need this, so that'll be my challenge. That doesn't do anything for you. So truly challenge yourself.
No, I like that.
Very cool. Or you could say, I'm going to go out and develop an app to monitor the progress of my students towards mastery.
Keep yourself motivated with new things, and it'll keep that that mundane monotony out of your routine.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got 26 days left. Does that count today?
Well, no, we're on. I think we've got 23 technically starting today. So we started the countdown last Friday. So
I'm guessing that means you're done on the 26th of May. I'm trying to do that.
That Friday.
That Friday, the 27th. Okay,
May. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, so right before Memorial Day.
Right before the weekend. Yep.
That's awesome. Big plans for yourself this summer?
Dance Trip National is gonna head down to Sarasota, Florida. No, but we take it as our family vacation. So it's always a fun memory. We throw in some days at the beach along with it. And again, nothing brings me more joy than seeing my kids do what they love. So it's a trip that I look forward to each summer.
That's very cool. And do the kids feel like it's a vacation too, or do they get excited, or are they just nervous the whole time?
No, they get excited for it because, like, I don't know about you, but my kids love like just being in a hotel and the excitement that comes with having a swimming pool and a
Oh
beach
yeah,
next door. So we do our days of dance, but we always extend it a few days and make it memorable. So I'm very much looking forward to that this summer.
very cool, very cool. And Sarasota in the summer, there are some people that would say keep me away from Florida in the summer. That's my favorite time when it is hot and sticky
Hot.
24/7. The chameleons and the iguanas down in that part of Florida are out and about. That's fun stuff. Fun
Yeah,
stuff.
it should be a good trip. I'm looking forward to the beach, and it's cold enough up here right now that I just keep that in the back of my mind. Like there's a beach coming this summer.
Well, when is that trip? What month?
So it's the week leading right into 4th of July weekend. So
All right.
that kind of end of June, early July.
So I'm checking my phone right now, and it looks like the weather that week is going to be 84 degrees and sunny with a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. So
Afternoon thunderstorms, yeah. So Dave, I actually started my teaching career down in Coral Springs, Florida.
really,
My
okay.
first 5 years were in Broward County schools, teaching at Coral Springs Middle School, actually.
Wow.
So I know the weather forecast for every day of the summer is hot, humid, with afternoon rain showers. So uh,
That
uh,
that's awesome. So you understand that the difference in the school systems too. Broward County, like 150 schools or something,
oh,
right?
one of like what is it, third largest in the
Third
nation,
largest
something
in the
like that.
country. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy, absolutely crazy compared to Plano, where you've got five rocking and rolling schools, and
Oh,
sometimes we get lost just in that size. So yeah, everybody just have empathy and know that there's always something different out there. Lean into the differences and celebrate what makes your school system unique.
yeah, and just do the best you can to make it really special for yourself and for your students.
There we go. There we go. All right. One more segment I want to roll into today, if that's okay. A lot of times on Wednesdays, we like to do this segment where we offer some recommendations to people, some things that we might be thinking, some things that we might be reading, watching, listening to. And I've got one that I want to share with people. I don't know if you've got something that you want to share or not, but this afternoon, I'm not going to be available for Brain Break. And typically on Brain Break, we have this segment where we can share what we're thinking. And because I'm not going to be there today, I thought I'd hijack
Sneak
some
it
of
in.
our dropping time
Yeah.
today and do it. Is that cool?
I like it.
All right. All right. So stay tuned. 12 seconds. I'm going to share with people what I'm thinking and what I'm reading. All right, people. Welcome to Daily Drop In, one of our final segments of the day. Whether you're joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, we are glad that you are here. In this segment, I'm going to offer some recommendations, some things that we want other people to be aware of, some things that you might want to challenge yourself with, some things you might want to read, listen to, watch in any of your free time on your weekends during summer, spring break, if it still hasn't happened for you yet, or if you just want to add it to your nightstand and to explore. Lately, I've been reading a lot. I've read some phenomenal books lately that truly challenge me and inspire me. And I've been reading a lot of Adam Grant's work lately. I don't know if you're familiar with Adam Grant, but he gets a lot of press on Instagram and Twitter. He has these amazing little captions that people tend to take and snapshot. It's kind of like the Pinterest version of all of his thoughts, where you just click on, you're like, oh, that must sum up everything that this guy thinks. No. Adam Grant, he's an author, researcher, writer. He works at Wharton Business School and does a lot of amazing things. He actually went to Harvard at the same time that Mark Zuckerberg was there, inventing Facebook. He was part of the original email group that was the precursor to Facebook. And now he's out there writing a whole bunch of stuff. But his thoughts are absolutely incredible. It takes the concept of bold humility, takes the concept of the growth mindset, and actually talks about the idea of relearning and unlearning, and how the most successful people in the world are the people that realize they don't know it all and are willing to constantly change their thoughts and change their ideas. They don't spend all their time defending ideas, but acknowledging defeat in their ideas, and how science and true learning comes from examining what you don't know. And it is such an amazing read. It's not just 30,000 foot view. Oh, you got to be open to new ideas, but so many tactical things in here that are incredible case studies and stories and research. It reads very Malcolm Gladwell-esque, if you've ever read Malcolm Gladwell's work, where social psychology, but you can totally relate to it. So good. So if you're looking for something to read, go get yourself some Adam Grant. Right now I'm reading Think Again, but he's got a few other books out there as well.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that one. I was unaware of it, but it does sound like a good read.
So good. Do you read a lot? Are you a podcast listener? Where do you get your?
I'm
your
a podcast listener, but I like a good audio book. I like I said, I spend a lot of time, toting kids around. So anything that I can throw on during my commuting is good for me. So not a lot of paperback book, hardcover book, but I'll listen to it. Right now, actually, I just started a new one, actually, an audio book called How to Be Perfect. By Michael Schur.
I thought you were going to say it was the story of my life. Okay, no,
it's
not my biography.
Different copy, different version.
Okay.
But no, he was the author of the show The Good Place. If you're familiar with that,
love some Kristen Bell. Yes.
Yeah. So he got all the cast members to read chapters within the book. So it's all about just like ethical theory and questions to everyday problem dilemmas and. It's an interesting read because like your book, it kind of brings it down to just an everyday level, and it's not overly theoretical. It's one of the chapters is, should I punch my friend in their face? And it's like, here's the ethical way to solve a problem as simple as that. And it's just a fun comedic way to take on the theory of ethics. And I'm enjoying it so far.
I'm downloading it as soon as we're done today. That sounds amazing.
It's a good listen.
I'm a huge fan of the Good Place. If people haven't seen The Good Place, oh my gosh, that's another recommendation.
Agreed.
That's one that the deep level of insight that goes into every single show. The writing is just incredible, and it's so stinking funny too.
It's got wit and humor to it, and I started with the show, and I was like, man, this is a great show. And then I heard about his book, and I've started the book, and I'm very much into it so far.
All right. I think I might download it. That'd be a great thing to listen to on my run, so I can just laugh.
There you go.
Deep thoughts and distract myself. Love it.
Great
recommendation. Great recommendation. So people listen, take that advice. Go out and read something today. Listen to something today. Challenge yourself to get a little bit better, closer to perfect, or closer to being completely flawed, which makes you closer to perfect. I don't know how that works, but go out there, recognize that you have some shortcomings, acknowledge them, be aware of them, lean into them, and then again, work on getting a little bit better. So good. Speaking of getting better, John, I don't want to say it, but I think that we are better at this show than most others. We're going to have to do this again sometime. This has been a lot of fun.
I've enjoyed the morning for sure.
Yeah, and I got you away from the 3 dogs and the 3 kids this morning.
3 kids.
Able to use this as an excuse. I don't know if people at home, in your home, are actually going to be going online to try to figure out if you're actually doing this show or not. But if you need to use this as an excuse tomorrow or Friday, Saturday or Sunday, and say, I got to
just have a regular scheduled appointment if I need it.
You can. You can just go find yourself at Starbucks or hanging out. And I mean, you can watch Daily Drop-In every day and just say that you have to go to your Daily Drop-In appointment, and they don't necessarily need to know what you're doing.
No, they don't. I guess it depends on if I'm going to try and do that whole get better thing and tell the truth, or if I just need that quiet time, then maybe that is getting myself a little better.
Yeah, well, I'll let you figure out that moral dilemma. Maybe that's
I haven't hit that chapter in my book. Yeah, I'd say we're not there yet.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun today. And again, I'm super grateful that I got to start my day hanging out with you, because Wednesdays are normally the days where I'm super excited to be able to do Brain Break in the afternoons and hang out with my buddy Jeff Gargas. But he's out of town hanging out in Palm Springs, suffering along with Katie and Ray. I'm actually doing some PD today with my friends in Longview, Washington. So today, the amazing Brianne Fennell is leading our Brain Break this afternoon, playing games and talking shop, and she's going to have an amazing guest on. So I'm super excited about that. But I get to wake up tomorrow bright and early as well and do Daily Drop-In with another incredible guest, which I'm super excited about. Also this week, it is the last week, John, I don't know if you're aware of this, to submit a proposal for the Teach Better conference. Did you hear there's a conference coming?
I heard about that conference. You guys might have mentioned it. And yeah, the proposals closed this week, according to Ray on Monday. So
look at you. That's it. Yeah, you've got until the end of this week. I'm trying to look. You got like 3 days left, people. if you want to submit a proposal. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but they're not here, so I'm going to say it. If you're a speaker at the conference, you get free registration for the conference. So I'm just saying, it's sort of like when your kids are going off to college and you say, just apply for every scholarship you can because you never know. This is like a Teach Better scholarship opportunity. It's a scholarship opportunity to go to the conference. If you're looking to try to get to the conference and you don't know if your school or district will pay for the registration, submit a proposal and see what happens. So submit those proposals this week. Selections are going to be made very, very soon. So submit those proposals. Easy process. You just have to have an amazing idea, and every educator has an amazing idea that they can share. Got to be willing to talk about it a little bit. You get to share a little video example of your speaking style and how you're going to present and how you're going to share. Submit it, and fingers crossed for you. You'll get in, and we'll be able to hang out this fall in Akron, Ohio at the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Last night, I was scrolling through social media, and my friend Chelsea Nicolino, who actually teaches at that school, was posting some things, and you could see the entire venue in the background of her pictures, and I got super excited and super jazzed to be in Ohio in the fall. Like, I would never say I'm excited about being in Ohio, but at the Teach Better conference, I am.
But that one does sound exciting, right?
It's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be good stuff, and we're trying to plant some seeds for our Plano people to see what we can do. So
what we can do.
Stay
All
tuned,
right.
John. Stay tuned, John. We're
I
gonna
like
see what we
it
can do for you. John, anything else going on? Any final thoughts, words, affirmations for the world out there as they're about to dive into a Wednesday and change the lives of kids?
No, just stay focused on your goal, right? On that mission of serving each kid and making them a little bit smarter each and every day. And that whole idea of staying motivated, it'll keep you motivated if you find those small wins every day.
There you go. There you go, people. So stay motivated, find those small wins every single day, get yourself better, tune in, lean in, connect with John. He can help grow you, inspire you. I've been super, super motivated by your posts and your connection. So I appreciate you, John. Everybody else, go enjoy your amazing Wednesday. Find something good, or celebrate the birthday of a Chihuahua, or celebrate your admin professional today. It's going to be a good day. Have a good one, everybody.